Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for all the interruptions, but I'm going to try again, once again, to go live here, and I'm going directly with YouTube now, and hopefully that will work. So one second, I'm just going to see if I can find my live channel and the chats there so that I can follow everything. My apologies for that. It must be something here with encoders or other problems. I have no idea. So anyway, I should be live, but I'm not seeing anybody so far, which is really weird. Really weird. I don't know why. Okay, I think some of you just say hi to me. I apologize for the for some. It's working. Amanda, fantastic. Well, Amanda is a big astronomy fan. Welcome, Amanda. So Amanda, RJ is also there. Very nice. Christy, very nice to see you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through an amazing observatory here. We're going to talk all about the sky. I'm here at iTelescope. It's based in Siding Spring in Australia. I had a few beautiful maps to show you all that, but since I'm doing this really spontaneous now, just sit back and enjoy. So the local time is almost around 10 a.m. Susan there, very nice, loves astronomy, that's great. And Luana, hi, Dr. Sasse, hi to you. So let me explain to you what I'm doing here. So I'm actually giving a masterclass on astrophotography. So it's not only eagles, it's when you go way beyond our own galaxy, right into the universe. That's always been my other fascination as a physicist. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to try and improvise a little bit because I can't do screen sharing, which I wanted to, but I will certainly make sure that all the Patreon people will get the benefit that I promised. Okay, so just your hobby, yes, Amanda, I know. So that's wonderful. So what you see behind me is a lot of telescopes. In fact, this is the largest single open roof observatory in the world. So it has a sliding roof that goes all the way back in the evening, and then at night, the whole night sky can be seen, okay? So really beautiful. And you have all these monstrous telescopes there, and I will show and explain to you what they mean and what they're all about, right? So at least I'm live, and that's just wonderful. So I'm going to just switch the camera. Hopefully the the background sound that you have from all the fans that are cooling the mirrors will not be disturbing so much. So the screen may be interrupted for 2-3 seconds as I switch the camera. Don't worry, it should be fine. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to walk. We're going to walk now through the observatory. And I'm just before, one second, I'm just going to fasten this a little bit better. So I have this under control, which I don't seem to have anything under control today. So just hang on, you'll be a bit dizzy. I just need to get this properly wired on. Everything seems to be not behaving today. Okay, never mind. You know what, I'm going to take this off the tripod. I'm going to just take this off the tripod and walk myself since nothing is working today. Okay, one second. Just give me a second. And I'm going to put this back on the tripod, and then it'll be more stable. So just bear with me. Just bear with me, it's a bit shaky at the moment. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's much better. Okay. Just going to straighten it. Here we go. Hi, Jackie. I'm sorry for all the mess here, but now this is better. Okay, so now we can... No, it's not quite better. I just have to... There's something in the view of the camera there. Let me just turn this way and that way. There we go. Okay, so let me take a walk through here. So what you see here are really dozens of telescopes, and you can rent these telescopes, and some of them are universities, so there's a lot of science research and also just astrophotography going on. And as you can see, I'm just going to pull it up, you can see that's what they look like. Okay, there's a huge mirror there, and the huge mirror together with a so-called secondary mirror gives a massive magnification, and it's like a big bucket. It's a bucket that collects a lot of light, and then with that light you can see a lot more than you could see with the eye, obviously, right? And so these are all commercially available telescopes, actually, they are. And typical diameter of this here would be about 24 inch. That's the biggest one that we have. That's a 70 centimeter. You can see it's a massive telescope here called T24. Its mount is a little bit different, but that's as big as they get here. So this is 0.7 meter. You had a look in there. I could just push that above. Hi, gentleman ghost, you're also here. That's very nice. And all of these telescopes have different purposes. The main purpose, what they do with them, and a lot of users do, is they rent and they do a lot of astrophotography, so you can do beautiful images of our own Milky Way and many other things. And others do a lot of science. For example, this here is a science telescope, and with that telescope you can go very, very far. You can go to the edge of the universe, in fact. And I actually showed it with this telescope, which is my own, that you can image a galaxy that is very bright, right at the edge of the universe, that is about 12.6 billion light years away. So the light takes 12.6 billion years to reach us, right? So with that type of telescope, you can do something crazy like that. And these telescopes look rather funny, you know, they look rather strange. If you look at them first, they think, why do they look so complicated at the back, right? Okay, so it's clear the light is coming in here, going down here through a cylindrical funnel onto a camera, right? But why does the camera look so strange? And why this monstrous build here? And the reason for that is that our eye is very different, and the sensitivity of our eye is very much accustomed to the spectrum of the sun, which means the yellow and green is what we see best, but we don't see the red very well. And the very red lines, because the universe is made up of an abundance of hydrogen, a lot of these so-called hydrogen alpha emissions, that's when you get a very hot plasma, they emit light, are in the red, and that's why you see a lot of these red nebula. And so these cameras have special filters where you can much better mix the colors and make the image look very beautiful, because our eyes don't see these things so well. That's the main thing, right? Is that your telescope? No, this is my telescope. Amanda is this one here. It's that's mine here, but it's very similar. At the moment, this one is just, the camera's being repaired, but this is mine. This is my camera. That's why you don't see a camera at the back. But usually here is where the camera is attached, right? Right at the back. And this is a guiding telescope. That is to make sure that it always points in the same direction. So this looks more at a wider field and points, looks at a star, and always keeps everything exactly in position, right? So that's the way it is. But this beast is mine. And these are similar telescopes with a lot of similar abilities for research, right? And then you get these wide field telescopes. This is called a refractor. That's a refractor, right? So this is the old type of refractor that you would put big glasses in, and with these big glasses you would get magnification. That's the way Kepler and all the major geniuses of astronomers started, with these type of refractors. Of course, nowadays the quality that you have of glass is much, much better. And they are used for wide fields. So if you want to take a big patch of the sky, then you would use a wide field telescope. And if you want to really zoom in to the universe, then you would take these big aperture ones that look very far into the universe. And that's what they're all about. And you can see they have these strange mounts. Do you see that? They have these strange mounts. They have these incredible weights. And then you think, what on earth is all that? Why do you need this massive weight? And why are they pointing so strange, right? And in fact, what they're doing here is this axis here is pointing exactly south. In North America, you would be pointing exactly north. And why? That is to compensate for the Earth's rotation, because If you look exactly at the North Pole, there is no rotation at that point, and the same as the South Pole. So everything else, the whole sky rotates around it, apparently. Of course, it's not the sky that's rotating, it's the Earth. That's what we know now. And in order to compensate for the rotation, otherwise you would only see smears and streaks of stars. That is why they have it. Does the building need to be temperature cooled? No, it's not. It can get very good. Gentleman goes, that's a great question. It can get quite hot in summer, but the main thing is there are two cooling devices that you have, and that's why cooling plays a big role. It's not that the building so much that is cooled, but it's the individual telescopes that need convection constantly. That's why you have these big fans, and then you have a special cooler for the camera, and that's to keep the so-called thermal noise down. So it means the building as such is not cooled. It's big enough to get sort of self-cooled with natural convection. Good question. Yes, it is a good question. But the cameras go way below freezing point in order to really make these cameras very sensitive. So they have very special coolers on them, okay? Quite interesting, quite interesting. And what I was going to show you now, which I can't at the moment, is, and I feel a bit silly doing this off the laptop, is, so I might do another stream for that, is to show you a much bigger telescope, which is quite amazing. But I can't walk outside, otherwise my Wi-Fi will be gone. You actually own one of them? Yes, I do. I own this telescope. I saved for that a long time. That's my telescope. And with that, I imaged one of the furthest objects ever done by an amateur astronomer. That means that where you can buy the equipment off shelf. And that runs here. So yes. So, and you can see the many different telescopes. Then you have the really high-class research telescopes, like this one here. It is an enormous beast, and I won't explain how that works, but just have a look how complicated it can get. Here at the back, you see a huge filter wheel, several cameras, and wires sticking out everywhere. That looks lots more complicated. Carrie, that's a beautiful scope, Kristen. Yes, thank you. So you can see they can get incredibly complex, right? And it's all done mainly to get very good images. That is amazing, such an amazing, yes it is, it is. So, hi Jenny, yes. So that's what it looks like. So the building is quite large. You know, now I'm going to do something that is not very nice because I wanted to show you directly what this looks like. So I don't know if I can at least get a little bit of reflection here so that I'm not sure if it's going to work. But I wanted to show you some of the beautiful images that I had prepared, but I cannot show them the way I wanted to because I cannot share the screen at the moment. But you can see, wait, I'm just going to close the roof here, 1 second. Because then we won't have any disturbing light here. Then we'll get a lot better. 1 second, I'm going to make it even darker. Okay, now I'm completely in the dark, so we can have a look at the screen. This is like being in an old movie theater. But it's much better that way because at least I can share the screen. Hi, Jack. So this is a beautiful image that I took off you can see this is a huge 4-meter telescope, and I took of the night sky here. And it shows how the Milky Way moves every hour. In fact, what you see here on the left is Jupiter. Jupiter is very close to the Milky Way at the moment and walks that way. So I took this image 2 days ago and superimposed it. I'm just trying to stabilize it. 1 second. Let me just stabilize this a little bit better so that you don't get seasick here. So just give me a moment. I'm going to improvise a little bit. Get the legs and everything. So wait a second. Just give me a second. It's all improvisation now because it wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. Okay. I'm nearly there. Let's see, turn this around this way. And then I can show you this much better. Okay, I just need to get this stable. There we go, there we go. Okay, that's better. Now I can hold it stable. That's much better. That is a lot better. No more seasickness now. Okay, so I'm just showing you the screen. And this doesn't maybe come out that well, but you can see. Do other people use your scopes? Yes, they do. I rent it out because otherwise it becomes unaffordable. It's like when you buy a flat and you rent your flat out. That's how you cover your costs. Otherwise you can't, the maintenance would be too high. And so we have other people also at iTelescope, and they own telescopes and they rent them out to cover their costs. So that's a good question. Yes, that's how it works. Oh, this is a nice picture here that I took from the drone. Great arrangement. Yes, Carrie. And that's actually how a lot of people do it. Thank you, thank you, Kathy. That's very kind of you. Thanks for the help. I really appreciate that. And for all the patrons, I just wanted to say I will do an extra broadcast for the patrons when I come home to show you some extra things. So the behind the scenes is not lost, okay, just that you know. It's just that I ran into some technical problems. But you can see I took this with a drone, and this is the cottage where Pete, who looks after the observatory here, and I also am housing there as a guest, and you can see, well, you can't, the reflection is a bit difficult, but you can't see the big dome in the background. But I wanted to show you some beautiful time lapses that I did, just to give you an idea how beautiful this is. This is a time lapse of a sunset. Look at that. And I took this with a drone. That was very fast, I know, because it went quite rather quick. But you do these beautiful time lapses of our. This is what happens when you put your camera for one night into this observatory, and you can see how the Milky Way rotates. It's really beautiful, and so that's an idea of what it looks like and why the southern sky is so incredibly beautiful, right? So that's through a whole night, and then there comes the morning. That's all here at the iTelescope. Yes, thank you. It is breathtaking, isn't it? And there you go. And then comes sunrise. There you go, sunrise, and then the roof closes. See, and at the moment the roof is closed. Good. And what you can also do is you can make these incredibly beautiful patterns. Let's see if I can make this a little bit larger. But I think Amanda likes this a lot. And these patterns are created by superimposing the Milky Way in 30-minute intervals. So every 30 minutes, the Milky Way moves a little bit, and it gives this beautiful spiral pattern. And there's the South Pole is right in the middle there. And let's see what else. So let's see if I can. There's another beautiful one. That's your favorite picture. Well, and here's another one with the moon rising, really beautiful. That I did about 4 days ago. Here you can see how the clouds come and give it very spectacular. You can see the Milky Way together with the clouds, and there's the moon rising together with the Milky Way. It's quite spectacular. So the moon is illuminating everything, and you can still see all the trees, and it's taken with a fisheye camera. You like the moon? Yes. So let's see what else I can show you from here. So what I did last night was I put my camera, and I wanted to show you all these videos, but unfortunately these videos, I don't know how to access them from YouTube. Maybe it's possible to do that. I'm not sure. Let me try. 1 second. Let me see if I can actually do that. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Enable flash. No, that's not it. No, I don't know how to do it. Okay, sorry. I just don't know how to do it. But I took virtually thousands of images every 30 seconds. And let me just So these are original images. This is completely, these images are not at all touched in Photoshop. They are completely raw images, and that's what they look like. There's a little bit of reflection there from the camera. Hang on, I'm trying to get that out of the way. Yeah, that's better, that's better. So you can see this is a massive 2-meter telescope. That's 2 meters, much bigger than what we have in here. So we have an 0.7, this is 2 meters, so that is very, very huge. And you can see the Milky Way rotating there. So if I go on from image to image, which I will just try and do, I'm going to jump a little bit. And, oops, sorry. Of course, it goes very slow, but you'll see what I mean. The sky will slowly rotate. If you look carefully, you will see there's some movement. So I'm just going on now. And there the telescope moved and so on. Then moves to a different position and so on. So these type of, this is all for a, isn't it stunning, Amanda? Okay, 1 second. Okay, we're back, we're back. I lost the internet connection for a second. I think we're back now, so that's fine. And thanks for the kind donations, I really appreciate that. So that's what I did last night. So I will show you the videos of how I did that and what the telescope looks like at another time, because I think it's, you know, it's just really worth seeing that. I'll show you one more image here quickly so you can get an idea of how beautiful the southern sky is. So that's an incredible sight. Yes, yes it is. It is. It is. So anyway, that's what it all looks like. Hi Osprey Mama. Well, sorry Osprey Mama, there was a lot of technical issues here and I have no idea why. Everything was going fine and then it didn't work. Well, this is the issues, of course, that you have when you travel, but I'm improvising as best I can to give you some, you know, some quality. So I'm just going to just open the roof gently again. Put a little bit more light here so we can have another look. So I'm just opening the roof a little bit. We can't open it very much during the day because the telescopes have to be protected. So that's as far as I can go, but it's enough to give you a view again, okay, for those of you who haven't seen it. Can you watch the videos? Yes, and as I said, for all my Patreon friends, I will certainly do another broadcast with some inside details that I couldn't show you now because I only have one camera at the moment. But I'll just give you another quick look through the observatory. That's fantastic. You love it. And this is one of the locations that was pointed toward the gravitational wave. Yes, that is correct. That was, in fact, they used my telescope. They used these two telescopes. Gentleman Ghost is saying something very interesting. So in August of 2017, it was somewhere around the 17th of August, if I remember correctly. That's completely correct. There were two binary stars that were rotating around each other, and they then merged into one and caused a massive gravitational wave. So those are the ripples in the universe, and they were caught by gravitational detectors, 2 of them in the United States and 1 in Europe, and they could pinpoint it. And then, at the same time, there was some light emission. And believe it or not, the light emission was caught with my telescope, actually, and with this telescope. They were caught with these 2 telescopes here. They caught the light emission. And it was difficult because west is right here. That's west. So the object where it came from was very, very low on the horizon, something you cannot do with a big telescope. So Gentleman Ghost, that's a great remark. So I can explain that actually now. So they had to look just above the roof at sunset in order to just get the object before it disappeared in the west. It was a massive undertaking, and it, with 2 separate telescopes, I think even 3. So this one, mine, and I think also this big beast here, T27, they caught it. They caught the incidence of the gravitational waves, that what you call the optical, you know, the optical twin, or the brother of that they caught. So that's a great high nature scope. So that's a great remark, Gentleman Ghost. Thank you for reminding us to explain that. So yes, that's exactly what happened. And actually, I gave a YouTube broadcast on that incident some time ago. Okay, well, Do you have any pictures of that event? Yes, I do. I actually do have pictures of that event. And you know what? I can do a separate broadcast on that. That's so interesting. Wow. Well, it's like hearing about the right stuff. Yes. And Nancy says, you say my telescope. You actually own this. Yes. No, I don't own the observatory. I own this telescope, and as I was explaining, I rent it out. So I'm one of many people who own telescopes here. And I own this telescope, and I rent it out just the way you rent out an apartment. I rent out a telescope. Now, I can tell you don't make money on this, okay? So if you think you get rich through astronomy, you don't. This is science, and it's for the love of science. That's why I do it. So you're probably better off renting out an apartment, but if you really love astronomy, like I do, then you will do something crazy like that, okay? So that's the honest answer, okay? Who maintains all the equipment? That's Pete. There is one what we call the lighthouse man, and he maintains all the equipment. I'm just going to switch the camera quickly so I can explain that. That's better. So Pete actually is looking after all this, and it's a very lonely job because there are only about 40, 50 people up here, and Pete gets up day and night. It's a 7-day job. He never has holidays. Honestly, he never has holidays. It's quite, so it is actually quite stressful. I'll say hi to Pete, I will. Because he has to look after everything, and like all equipment that moves, any mechanical part that moves will eventually fail, no matter what it is, whether it's a motor or anything. And that's why, because they're in very high use and they're very popular, these telescopes are incredibly popular, they're always booked out, and there are many people, you know, who reserve this weeks ahead. So it can become very costly if these telescopes don't work. So Pete's job is incredibly important to make sure that these work at all times. So he works day and night, basically. So it's a tough job. It's a tough job. It's not as romantic as many people think. Oh, I'm going to look after the telescope, and this is going to be fine. Most people would quit after 2-3 months. Believe me, okay? Oh, I'm breaking up. Oh, I'm breaking up. Oh, sorry. Am I still breaking up? I'm not sure. Maybe it's the internet. Just tell me if you can still hear me. Good here. Okay, good. Okay, it's okay. Okay. Okay, Sasha, that's good, Nicole. So I'm not breaking up. That's great. Nicole, by the way, also loves astronomy. There are quite a few among you who like astronomy. It's all good. Oh, it's just a couple of seconds of lag. That can happen. Well, we're in a very remote connection. Thank you for all the feedback. So it seems to be good. But anyway, that's what it looks like. So what I did, and which I still want to show to all the Patreon people, is I flew a drone above here so you can really have a view when the roof is open, and did some incredible footage. And that makes this experience really special here. You can hear me fine. By the way, I did have one incident here with my drone. As you know, eagles is the other passion, and Jack Mullen knows that. We've just been to Dutch Harbor, and now this is the other extreme, Jack. We're again quite a lonely place here, but it's completely different. Well, I was flying my drone quite high up, and I was very careful as to not get into any way, because you know you have to be careful. If you crash a drone, you don't retrieve it. You can't get your money back. So that's a big risk. You have to be really careful. I'm very careful when I fly these things. First of all, I'm not very experienced. And second of all, because I've just had it for a short time, I'm just very careful as a person, the same as we are with the equipment. We want it to last. So anyway, I was flying there and then returning, and then you can see the footage of my drone, and suddenly it was spinning like crazy, and then it stabilized again. I thought that was the end of my drone. But I believe, and I don't have proof for that it was a wedge-tailed eagle, because they like to be near the cliffs that attacked my drone. That was close. That was close. So, because it was fairly high and came all of a sudden. I certainly couldn't see it because there was so much sun, but I believe that was the case. But I'll show the footage at some time. You know, I do these Raptor news, and that would be very fitting. You know, this is your news reporter with his own experience here. Glad you didn't lose your drone. I'm also glad, and I'm really careful. You know, I must say one thing about drones. I know many of you don't like drones, and I'm not a bit special drone person too. When does Pete have a birthday? Buy him a chocolate cake. Well, I don't know if Pete is a big chocolate fan. I have to actually ask him. He's a very good cook. You know, he's got Greek background too. So Pete's a very, very good cook, which makes me a very lucky person because I'm a lousy cook, right? Okay, cookies. Well, we'll find something. We'll find something. Pete's a very special person because if you, sorry, if you are this lighthouse person, you have to be very special. Otherwise, you can't survive. Okay? But anyway, I was talking about drone responsibility. I'm certainly not a person who would fly drones in populated areas or so. I do it for the beauty of getting landscapes and special events like the observatories to really see and understand the location. That is the motivation for me to fly a drone, and no other than that. So I have to be very clear about it because I certainly don't do anything silly. Pete rocks. He does, doesn't he? Amanda, I will tell him. Pete rocks. I will tell him. I think he certainly does. He does. Yes, Carrie, and I think responsibility is big. So in Canada, for example, I would only fly in remote locations. I think privacy is something very important for people. So it's good. Logistics question, can I ask what airline? Of course you can. Well, gentleman goes, that's a great question again. I'm glad he's here because he brings in all these great questions. You know, people always say Australia is very far. Well, it depends where you are. I just get in a plane in Vancouver, fly for 15 and a half hours, in this case I flew Air Canada, and get out in Sydney. And then you rent a car and you drive another 6 hours and you come to this place. So actually that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Because people say, oh, I find long flights stressful. Well, are you sure? I find airports stressful. I find changing planes stressful. I find security stressful. It's all the things that we have to live with because of the world, well, that we breed. You know, it's a monstrous world. So we have all these security things. But actually flying to Australia is extremely easy, and New York has direct flights, Los Angeles and all the major, I'm sure Dallas, Amanda, would also have direct flights, I presume, to Sydney. So fairly easy to get here and much more comfortable. And the cost, yeah, the stress until the flight, that's correct. Once you are, once you are at the gate and so on, you're fine. It really is. Flights are great. Airports are not. Exactly. And it's nothing to do, it's not the airport's fault. It's just the way we are as human beings. We mess up everything, unfortunately, don't we? We break trusts and honesty, and this is the world we live in, and we have to cope with it, right? What else can I say? So, but it's not stressful. The flight is not stressful, and it's not expensive either. Gentleman goes, I pay about $1,000 for a return ticket. So that's not bad, right? That's not bad. And you can easily spend that on flights within the United States. We need to have securities. Of course we need to, yes. We need to, Susan, but why do we need security, right? That's always the question. Anyway, there's just the way the world is, isn't it? Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me. Human nature, exactly. Your astronomy experiences are the ultimate addition to your ego. Peter, can't get enough of it either. Well, thank you very much. That's a very kind comment. And I do think I have something special to offer. I really do believe that. Because this comes from my heart and it's my passion. And it's, well, Jack knows about it. Jack does exactly that. You know, if you listen to Jack's speeches, they come from his heart. You can't make that stuff up. You can't make Jack up, can you? So that's true. Well, anyway, my friends, I will. This is fabulous in education. I'll do much more of that. Nobody works hard. Thanks. You are quite gifted. It's also a matter of choice, I guess. You know. Thanks. Well, thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do much more in astronomy if that's of interest. Yes, Dallas Fort Worth to Sydney. Thanks so much. Yes, and I do give workshops out here. By the way, I do. I'm conducting a master class here from tomorrow, And we're going to use these telescopes. We're going to take beautiful images of the sky and do many things that you can do nowhere else in the Earth, on this planet, because this is a very special location here. There are many astronomy and astrophotography things, but there is no place like this, no place like home. This is my home, at least on the southern sky. Okay. Okay, my friends. Okay. Well, thank you for thumbs up. Do give me thumbs up, and thanks for your patience. And sorry for the technical difficulties, but that's just the way it is. Take us to the moon. Now you're saying that's a little bit too much for me. You know, there's smarter people like, you know, like Neil Armstrong, who can, you know, who do a lot better jobs with that. You should watch the documentaries on Apollo 11 if you've never seen it. It's just amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. And I cannot believe, you know how proud the United States was in 1969 when this happened. The whole world was proud. And the main deniers of the Apollo trips come from the United States. That is absurd. Sorry, but I have to say that. For me, that is the most absurd thing ever. Because the United States has good reason to be proud of NASA and proud of all the science that they do. Honestly. It is absurd. I cannot understand. I cannot understand that I have to argue with people on the street of whether the Earth is flat, but it is like that, really. Okay, it's crazy, yes. Anyway, that's ranted raving. Okay, but anyway, thanks for joining, and great progress. Yes. Okay, so well, thanks a lot. Let's see if I can. I don't even know how to stop this stream. I'll try and do it. Let's see if I can. Yes, I can. So thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day. And thanks for all your patience and the donations, which I really appreciate. Thank you.